Holy fuck, what a game, dude. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. That was insane. This is why I love hoops, man. Like, man, what a game. We're going to get a game 7 on Monday against the Heat and the Celtics. Derek fucking White saved the Celtics season after Jimmy Butler revived from the dead because he was terrible for the first half and a lot of the third quarter. And I know he got rebounds and assists, but he played bad. He was getting torched defensively and he was shooting like shit from the field. He was seeing ghost out there. The entire Miami Heat team these last 3 games have seen ghosts because of the Celtics' length. And Jimmy Butler woke up from the dead, scored clutch baskets down the stretch, made 3 free throws with a foul from Al Horford that I don't even know what he was doing out there. But Jimmy Butler, the calmest person in that arena, 3 clutch free throws. And then Derek White gets the season-saving offensive rebound off of a Marcus Smart 3-point attempt with 3 seconds left. To me, live, it looked good. And I was just stunned. And now we got a game 7. What a fucking game, man. The Celtics were in control for a lot of the game, too. Not only was Jimmy playing bad, Bam Adebayo these last 2 games especially has not been good. Even on switches, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown will get him from time to time. But in this game, they needed a good Bam game. They did not get it. They did not get a good Jimmy game until the last 3 minutes of the game. But that has to be a heartbreaker. I thought the Heat were going to the finals. And I'm watching now the TNT post-game show is starting, and they just showed the basket again. That shot has kind of been a microcosm of the Heat for the last 3 games. And I want to list 3 reasons quickly in this video as to why the Heat have let the Celtics back in this series, or why, more specifically, the Celtics have climbed their way back into the series. 1, it's the offensive rebounding. They have killed the Heat on the offensive glass. In this game, the Celtics had 11 offensive rebounds. In Game 5, the Celtics had 12 offensive rebounds. And in Game 4, the Celtics had 7 offensive rebounds. And just timely offensive rebounds. The Celtics didn't even shoot that great from 3 either, and we all know how much of a barometer that 3-point shot is for the Celtics because they only have had 2 losses all year when they've shot over 40% from 3, and they're a much more middle-of-the-road pedestrian record when they shoot below 40% from 3. The Celtics didn't even shoot that well from 3, but it goes to my second point, moving off of my first point of offensive rebounding. The Celtics' defense has been incredible these last 3 games. It has lived up to the moniker of a second-rated, defensive-rated defense all season, but the Celtics kind of had to climb their way to that rating as the season went along. This was the first time these last 3 games the Celtics defense has looked like the defense that Ime Udoka was heading last year, where it was just suffocating. The rotations were crisp. The switches were crisp. They stopped putting Al Horford in drop, and they are just letting everybody switch, and that has also bothered Jimmy Butler because the Celtics' length has just affected all types of shots at the rim for Jimmy Butler. The Heat were terrible in the paint tonight, but they took Al Horford out of drop, and they are switching everybody. Rob Williams also has had an impact switching out to Jimmy Butler. Al Horford's size is also affecting Bam Adebayo. Robert Williams, too. They're just crashing the glass. But tonight, the Celtics were 7 of 35 from 3. But because their defense kept them in the game, they were able to steal it at the end. And I thought it was over as soon as Marcus Smart launched that 3. And then Derek White, the guy they traded for last year, the guy that made the Celtics 8-man rotation just a ridiculous 8-man rotation with switchability. By the way, Derek White has been getting hunted the first 3 games of this series by Jimmy Butler. And they're still letting Derek White switch out onto Jimmy Butler, and game by game, from game 4 on, bit by bit, possession by possession, Derek White has made it incrementally tougher for Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler hasn't been abusing Derek White like we saw in the first 3 games of this series. And Derek White has just been the unsung hero. Once again, just great from 3 for 7, couple of rebounds, a lot of assists, defended Jimmy well, executed switches well. Derek White saved their season. And then number 3, and most importantly, well, not so much tonight because I just mentioned they went 7 of 35 tonight, but in the other games prior, the Celtics were 16 for 39 from 3 for 41% in game 5, and then in game 4, they were 18 for 45. And that has been the barometer mainly for the Celtics this entire season. But Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have also stepped the fuck up. In the first half, man, Jason Tatum was abusing Jimmy Butler on both sides of the ball. But on the offensive end, he got Jimmy Butler on a pump fake when he tried to post him up and do the Kobe fadeaway. And I thought Jimmy Butler, if he had just stayed down, that would have been a difficult shot for Tatum. But Jimmy bit on the pump fake, Tatum foul. Another Tatum turnaround jumper over Jimmy, and then another one late in the first half. Like, Jason Tatum was abusing Jimmy Butler, and nobody abuses Jimmy Butler. Like, that is not a thing that happens, and Jason Tatum did it. And though Jason Tatum in this game, I don't think he didn't score for most of the second half, but the other Celtics picked it up. Marcus Smart was great. Al Horford was fantastic in this game, even though he was 2 for 6. His defense was spectacular. He had a big block on Bam Adebayo. Oh, and by the way, before I sign off, I just want to say, keep those fucking referees away from the rest of this series and the rest of these playoffs. Josh Tivins and company was just fucking terrible. That fourth quarter was atrocious. That was not an offensive foul on Jimmy Butler. The Celtics were getting called for touch fouls early in the third quarter. The refs were gifting the Celtics some touch fouls in the fourth quarter, and then a tech for some reason. It was just awful all around. And then there were makeup calls, it felt like, down the stretch for the Heat a little bit because Jimmy was grifting a little bit. Just keep those fucking referees away. But anyway, all the credit deserved to the Celtics, because when they went down 3-0, I thought this series was over, and yeah, no team has come back from a 3-0 deficit. That's been ingrained for most of my life, for most of our natural-born lives, and now they have a chance to close it out at home in Game 7, and that's where the circumstances are rare. When an 0-3 series goes to a Game 7, the team that was forcing the Game 7 that was down 0-3, all of them have been on the road. Now the team that has come back from an 0-3 deficit to tie the series gets a chance to close it out at home, and I think they're going to do it, which means they're going to do something that literally no other team in NBA history has done.